Hey, we're back. It's so good to be back. Let's get another, round and everything. It's such a beautiful thing to be back with the Comicsburg Show. We are back again. So welcome to the Comicsburg Show, guys. I'm your main man, DP Brown. And that is
Marvelous Marv, what's up?
Marvelous Marvin. What's up? What's going on with you, buddy?
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been here, but I'm back. I've
He's
returned.
back. Oh yeah, he has returned, just like the Dark Knight and the Crazy Man. This guy has returned. So we basically just want to thank you. Comicsburg has different things going on. We have conventions, we have our comic stuff that we're trying to put out. Just a variety of different stuff. We just signed a distribution deal, so we're getting that stuff together, getting all our stuff prepared. To be put in the national retail stores. So unfortunately, sometimes we got to take some time off, to get some of that stuff done. So while we would love to bring this show to you like every single week, consistently, because that's what YouTube likes and that's what the algorithm likes, sometimes that just can't be done, So, but we're glad we're back this week to, to get this show back on track, and I'm happy to be here. How about you, Marvin?
Man, I'm always happy to be here and chopping it up. So, get the energy moving, get things
the
done.
Energy moving, get things
Get the
done.
energy moving. Get the energy moving like that. Get it moving.
There we go. There we go. So Marvin's soon to be on TikTok. Follow us at Comicsburg. Soon to be on TikTok. As soon as we get that login. Anyway. But anyway, we'll want to make sure that you guys are following us like I said before, at Comicsburg. We're all over social media. Like I said, we are on TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Basically anywhere that has social media, we are at Comicsburg. So make sure that you're following us on all our social media channels. We got a podcast, so make sure that you are subscribing to our podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, soon to be on Odyssey. Like I said, it's still working, some kinks and stuff out. So anywhere that you listen to podcasts will soon be there, but those are our main two, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can sit in the car and listen to us on your way to work or on your way to to your baseball practices, kids soccer game, or if you just want to, feel free to listen to us at night talk about comic stuff and how to make it. All right. Make sure that you going to our website, comicsburg.com. You see everything Comicsburg related to the Edge, to Beowulf, the League of Cryptids. You get all our social media stuff on there. You'll get all our you'll be able to go to a store, to purchase our stuff, so thank you, if you did. And if you didn't, make sure that you go to that site and purchase our bundles too. We love shipping out bulk stuff. All right. So yeah, make sure that you're going to comicsburg.com and, checking that out. You're also able to sign up for our newsletter right directly on the front page of the site now. So, get your, instant Comicsburg newsletter access. Very easy. Send us some feedback too. We're at info@comicsburg.com. So make sure that you're, taking down the email, and anytime that you want some feedback or, want to give some feedback on stuff that we do, we love getting that feedback. You can also leave comments right on the website at comicsburg.com. So I don't want to forget that. So when you go visit comicsburg.com, we have a comment section under all our stuff, under, Theme of Thieves, Edge, Beowulf, under Grant, Marvin, Page, Heroenberg. Leave some comments on, the stuff that you like individually about, the stuff that we try to put out. All right. So, go ahead and do that. So basically, that's house cleaning and stuff. So, basically, let's get to the point of the matter. Right. All right. So today we've been talking, the past few weeks we've been doing for our script to store segments and everything. So we've been talking about a lot of we've been putting out a lot of content on how to get your stuff into developing your idea from the script process and trying to get it all the way up into like stores and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's oh man, what did I do here? Okay, it's been a really great way for you to get a gauge on if you're trying to put, if you have an idea that you're trying to put out and you're not if you can't really figure out how to do it, it's a really great way for you to check out these YouTube videos, sort of like tutorials. If you're trying to fix something, like a lawnmower or whatever, to look at our videos as tutorials. We're trying to basically teach you how to put a comic book together and put it into the store, right, Marvin?
Right. I mean, as you go along in these kind of things, and you learn from the mistakes you made, and you're trying to put information out there so people don't make the same mistakes you did. So let's skip the nonsense and get right to the doing.
Get right to the doing. Speaking of getting right into the doing, let's get right to it. Your comic book cover is killing sales. Wow. What do we mean by that? Your comic book cover, the cover that you slaved over, that you put money into, put time into, put effort into. Why is it not giving you those sales that you want to when you're at conventions? If you already got your stuff in the store, if you're putting it up on your site and it's not getting the numbers that you want to. Why is it doing that? So basically, we're going to give you 5 keys to making this situation better, fixing that situation for you and stuff. We claim to be professionals, but we make mistakes too.
Of course, it wouldn't be a thing if you didn't make a mistake along the way.
Oh man, it's like Marvin said, we're here. We've done this stuff, so we're here to give you the game and the knowledge and everything, so you don't make the mistake.
The cheat code is the cheat code.
Yeah, the cheat code. Ain't nothing wrong with the cheat code right there and everything. So first up, you want to make one clear promise. Okay, so your cover has one job, to make a promise. It has to convey a genre, a tone, a main pill. Is it horror? We got Memoirs of the Morbid, so that's explicitly lets you know that it's a horror comic. Is it comedy? Is it superhero? We got Herrenberg and everything. Is it crime? Is it fantasy? Beowulf? Is it just straight edgy and everything? I.e. The Edge. Is it sci-fi mystery? Theme of thieves and everything. If you can't describe the cover in one sentence, it's basically too busy. So some examples will be like, is a horror comic about a demon? Okay. This is a street level vigilante story. This is a fun team up book, with bright energy. If you look at like a lot of the Edge stuff and everything.
Am I frozen or you're frozen? Who's frozen here? Oh, DP's frozen.
DP's frozen.
All right.
Do you all right. All right, there we go. All right. So internet connection. Come on, Xfinity, All right, so we got the Edge. So lots of action going on. So it's very vibrant, very bright, basically gets to the point of what it's about. So Marvin, in one sentence, what can you tell me about this comic book cover, the first issue here?
Energy, a lot of energy. So I mean, you're given the idea of you're introducing characters here, and you're showing the powers that the characters have, and you're showing the villain. So you're saying, okay, why are they fighting the same guy? I want to pick up this book because what's going on here? Who's this guy they're fighting, and why are there a bunch of them? So you want to try to give the idea of what's inside that book. Why am I picking this book up? I want to know what's going on because this looks crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy going on, like Marvin said. So you're at the point, you're at the shop, you're looking through all these comics. It's a bunch of different comic covers grabbing your attention, and that's the first thing that a person is going to see, for when they try to pick up something and everything. So this cover gives off like a lot of energy and begs the question, what's going on in it? So the first thing when a person sees it and picks it up, he looks at they look at the cover and then look inside to see if they're gonna maybe buy the issue and everything. And this cover conveys a lot of that. It conveys all the selling points that you need in order to get somebody to make the first step as far as picking up the cover. So I would say that's just a really great thing for us to see.
Right. I mean, and that's I think that's the point that, I mean, in the situation you need to make, is that the cover is what it was going to sell that first book. Like, if someone is like, you got choices, you got a lot of choices. Like, from anyone who's ever been in a comic shop, you got a lot of options on the shelf. So you need that mystery on the cover of, I need to pick this up because I need to know what the heck is going on.
Now we have Trillion down here, which is from Cataclysm Comics, up under the Comicsburg, collective and everything. So this begs the question: who is this woman, and why does her hands all bloody? Why does she have bloody fists? What is going on here? Now, this cover conveys like some really great points because, number one, it focuses on one character. There's one threat. We see the threat. Well, we don't see the threat, but we see the tease of something's going on with the fact that she has bloody fists and everything. And look at the way she's looking. She's just looking, staring at the viewer, the audience, the person or whatever. She's basically looking at you. When you pick up the cover, she's looking straight at you with bloody hands, daring you. What's going on? What's up? Open me. Let's see what's going on here. So this is basically the one clear promise, the one point we've been talking about, as far as basically getting you to pick up the cover and open it, getting you to buy it, hopefully to continue to buy it and everything. But the first step in selling the comic is to make sure that you got like that requisite cover there. Mm-hmm. All right, so number 2, let's go ahead and here. Silhouette wins. All right, so what do we mean by silhouette? All right, so when we're talking about silhouette, we're talking about how if you're basically put us back up there, Marvin. All right, so from 6 feet away, a comic shop customer sees shapes. They don't see details unless they just got that supervision and everything. They can see all the way to like the stand and see exactly what they want. I see it right there from like 15, 20 feet away and everything, what they want. So, but for the rest of us and everything who have really good, eye surgery or whatever, we see like, shapes, we don't see all like the full details. So if you put out a cover, let's go back to Trillion and everything. So if we put out a cover that basically just shows the shape of a person, if a potential customer coming into the store, is like 10 feet away, this may actually stand out for the customer. Okay, because all they're doing is just seeing shape. They're seeing red. Red stands out. Red is like usually one of the calling features and everything to get a person's attention. Where the customer or the potential customer is basically can they recognize that main figure as a silhouette? Is the face readable? We see like the expression on her face. It's given like a really serious imposing position. It's a pose telling a story. Of course, it's telling like this is she's about to throw down on something. Someone made her push her to like the limit and everything. Is the background simplified? It's a black background. It's nothing back there. Is the color contrast really good? So we see like the yellow mixed with the brown, mixed with the red and everything. So basically it's just saying that she is just not a joke. Let's look at a couple other covers that we got. One of my favorites, this is mine, The Theme of Thieves. So one of the biggest things that I get from, this particular cover here is the fact that we have a portrait of a family. Looks like they're an innocent family and everything, but there's blood all over the cover. So when we're at conventions, one of the favorite things that people, when I pull up the retail versus this one, didn't get a chance to pull up the retail version of this one, but it still makes the same point. There's a retail version that shows like one of my two of the characters from the book, but this one just shows, it gives you a tease of a mystery of what's going on. There's blood all over this really great painting. So why is the blood there? You know, another cover with blood. What's going on? You know, so this cover basically conveys that something crazy is going on inside the issue. I need to open it up. Then we have Harrenberg down here. So this is like a superhero. So this is basically conveying. You know what, Marvin? I talk a lot. So let's listen to you. See how you convey this particular cover here.
I mean, this one is like you're showing again energy. You need that movement in the characters. Like even though they're not moving, like you got to get the feeling of movement. And again, you're given mystery. Like who are these people? What are these powers? Why do they have these powers? What's going on here? What's that in the background? That looks like Pittsburgh. So, I mean, if you're from Pittsburgh, you're going to immediately recognize the Cathedral of Learning and a few other buildings in the city. So you're just looking at something and saying, hey, that looks familiar, or hey, that looks interesting, and I want to buy this thing because it gives me a feeling of mystery of what's going on, and looking at really good art. So, I mean, the cover is excellent. It looks like a portrait, it doesn't look like it was drawn like a painting in some places.
Yeah. And what we were talking about with your customer being like 6 to 10 feet away is showing like the shapes and stuff. So if somebody is looking from far away, you're seeing like the shapes of the, you know, the women here. And especially with like, you know, the top one here, you're seeing like a lot of energy. She's surrounded, her energy is surrounded like the name of the comic, Harrenberg Comics and stuff. So it's given just a lot of energy, like as Marvin said, to convey, okay, I need to find out what these women are doing. You know, why is there, you know, and it's very pulpy, like, you know, it has like the wording on the cover, Ex Machina and Arcana in, you know, Kaiju on campus, you know, and it just gives off those vibes as if, okay, well, this sounds like it's about to be some, you know, some fun. You open up the book, hopefully it maintains that energy so people, you know, so the customer, you know, potential customer can eventually buy it and everything. So yeah, so the silhouette wins. So, you know, you want to make sure that you got your cover on point to where if a customer is far away, you know, they can, and your cover should stand out, and a silhouette and when the shapes that they see will be able to draw them to, like, you know, your comic book cover and everything.
Right.
All right. So number 3, what do we have number 3 here? So we got thumbnail first. All right, let's put us back there. All right. Oh, let's take this down here. All right. So thumbnail first. So what do we mean by like thumbnail first? So your cover isn't just, you know, your cover is not just a cover. It's basically like a 200 pixel thumbnail on a Kickstarter, Amazon, Instagram. And it basically tells the story of if a person is going to through all the stuff that they're scrolling through online, you know, especially Amazon, or they're going to stop on your stuff and potentially, you know, read the description and you know, click the button to buy. You know, it's, you know, simply as easy as that. You know, it's a few rules, basically a dominant color family. You know, put the brightest value, you know, at the focal point. If everything is mid-tone, nothing pops. So unless that's how you want to have it on purpose and everything, so you want to make sure that, you know, you have like the brightest color as possible. As let's go back to like Marvin's cover. In fact, let's go to like let's go to this cover here. So this is one from Mark V that he did for Comicsburg, which shows like the action that's going on and how like the man in the red suit, Epicurion, is out front. You know, we have Trillion, you know, right there. We have several characters from, you know, different stories from like Beowulf, the Harrenberg, Theme of Thieves, Trillion, you know, The Edge, you know. And who's this character again from The Edge?
That's Randa.
Okay. All right. So so we just got like a variety going on, and they're about to fight and go against something. So that's the whole thing with that. So, but you see the colors just pop out. So you basically, when we talk about thumbnail first, you're looking at like YouTube videos, where the thumbnail basically gets you to stop on that video to watch it. You know, if it has like a bad thumbnail, you may not watch it. The title may jump out at you, but it's really the thumbnail and the visual that gets you to stop and actually click on that video to play. Same way with a comic. If you're putting it into like a Kickstarter or Amazon, you know, if you're making a YouTube video out of it, you want to make sure that that picture just pops. Anything you want to say about that, Marvin?
I mean that's exactly right. Right? You want to stop people from dead scrolling is what they call it, right? I'm just
There we go.
dead scrolling. I mean, I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. What's going to make me stop? And that's what you need to convey with your, because it's marketing, right? Like what makes someone stop is something interesting and some kind of marketing that they haven't seen before. Like, oh, what's this? Let me stop and check this out. This stopped me. What's it about? Can I buy it? Where can I buy it? So I mean, just giving information, like as much information as possible in that image.
It's so much content out there nowadays. There's so much things out there to get people's attention. For you to actually, you know, put out something and make a thumbnail, as what we're referring to here, to make a person just stop on your stuff, you know, it's a beautiful thing. And if you can continue to do that, then yes, you're pretty much halfway there to that sale, you know, to that person potentially, you know, buying your stuff and everything. They could scroll through all their stuff, like Marvin said, and then they eventually stop on your stuff. What made them stop on your stuff? What made your stuff stand out? So, you know, as we were talking about, that focal point, that promise, that silhouette, that thumbnail first, you know, those elements are, you know, are big keys to making sure that your stuff, you know, stands out so a person can actually purchase it. All right, going to like the next thing, title is a weapon. All right. So what do we mean by that, Marvin? Title is a weapon. Basically, hold on, let me get this off the screen first though. Okay. So there we go. All right. So title is a weapon. So when we're talking about a title, too many covers treat the title like an afterthought, you know, or like a billboard that blocks the best art. You know, titles should be readable, you know, at thumbnail size. Don't put the busiest art behind the letters. Leave the intentional negative space for type. You know, it's real important, you know, if you don't have like a person to, you know, give you like a really good title, you know, look, you know, what they call like a what do they call that, Marvin? A title design or whatever for your cover. You know, you can hire somebody to do that, or, you know, just find a way to make sure that your title stands out so people actually purchase it.
Oh yeah, I will never stop recommending for you to let professionals do professional work. If you can't do it on your own, hire somebody else to do it, because if you don't, you'll pay for it later.
Oh man, you know, and it'll just keep following you and following you until you find out, probably too late, why your stuff isn't working and everything. You know, that's why it's always important to have like an editor, maybe second people, you know, looking and actually getting out there to testing out, see how your stuff is. Right. You know, that's why. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have a quick story on that. Do you remember a movie, Hollywood Shuffle?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a scene where these guys sneak into the movie, and like I'll scare you all the details, but check it out if you haven't seen it. It's Robert Townsend movie, Hollywood Shuffle, and it's got the Wayans and everyone in it. So check it out. But they sneak into this movie, and one of the movies is Amadeus Meets Hilarious, and the guy's making fun of the title of the movie. He's like, "How I'm going to go to a movie and I can't even pronounce the name of the movie to my girl?" She goes, she's not going to want to go anywhere if I go, we're going to go see Amada. So, and that's the same thing with a title. Like, if you can't pronounce it, then I'm like, how do I announce it? Like, go to the register and go, hey, can I buy Amada? So, I mean, it's just that simple. If I can't pronounce it, I can't buy it.
Hey, and the thing is, it's not about ego, you know, it's not about being in your head and everything, you know. If we as creators, sometimes we could be so up in our heads and so much in our ego that we think that what we're making is the coolest thing. You know, that's why we need like editors and people outside of our purview to actually tell us, okay, well, this doesn't work, or I'm not feeling this, I'm not reacting to this. It's no offense or anything against you, but you got to look at these people as potential customers. And then also look at the fact that there's people out here that doesn't know who you are, that's trying to relate to what you're trying to, you know, tell them and everything.
Yeah, first impression.
First impression is could pretty much be the last impression, you know, if you don't do it right. You know, so they could just walk by your table if you at a convention, see something, and be like, okay, you know, that's not it. That's why I love our Comicsburg brand and everything. It actually stops people, even if they're not even the comics and stuff. They see that black and gold, they see, okay, they know that's Pittsburgh. Something's up with that. With, you know, it's Pittsburgh and everything, and they're Comicsburg. Now you don't see that often. Comicsburg, you know, Pittsburgh, Comicsburg. Okay, it must be some sort of correlation. So how many times, Marvin, have we gotten people to stop at our table, just not even in the comics or whatever, just to ask about Comicsburg? What is Comicsburg?
Yep. So I mean, but again, like you said, it's familiar colors, and everyone knows Pittsburgh. Everybody knows the Steelers, the Pirates, the Penguins, and everything that comes with that. So I mean, that's something you can use in your branding. And again, it's all about marketing. Like, we're marketing something, or we're using the city to market our stuff.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's simple, plain, and to the point. Comicsburg is simple, you know, to the point. You know, it basically, you know, says what it is. It's about comics, and it has relations to the city of Pittsburgh. That's it, you know. So it gets people to stop, ask questions. That's what you want to have happen. And hopefully, you know, when they're at your table or at our table talking, we can actually convert them into buying something. You know, we've sold a lot of books just on the fact that we're from, you know, the Pittsburgh area, actually selling. So I want to support Pittsburgh, you know.
Yeah, it seems to be that no matter what conventions we go to, there's going to be people there who are from Pittsburgh or one of the surrounding areas of Pittsburgh, which is still Pittsburgh as far as they're concerned.
Yep. All right, we got W.
It's Vogs
in the house. So he's saying, what's up? So what's up? Appreciate you. All right. So, but yeah, title is a weapon. Making sure that you have that effective title is a important thing into getting your stuff out there and everything. So there's that. And then the last one we have down here, a story question: why should I open it? So it's basically the hook, you know. A cover, selling a cover asks for questions. A selling cover asks a question, not with words, with the images. So examples will be a hero holding something impossible, a villain's present implied, a mystery object glowing, a relationship moment, you know, in danger. You know, I'll go to a cover that my man Ruben Gonzalez did for my stuff, called The Theme of Thieves. And these are, when I told him, like, you know, my idea and everything, the good thing about, you know, some artists and everything is it won't be like that with everyone. You know, no questions asked, just, you know, do what I ask. And then they come up with different options, and this is the one I end up choosing. So you have 3 women, you know, with you know, hanging from, like, you know, guillotine and everything. And it basically lets you know that they're potentially about to be hung, you know, and the time that is in like the Salem witch trials and everything is a pretty good guess. And it gives you the idea, okay, if you're into that, you know, open up and see what's going on. You got like a red moon in the background. There's definitely some craziness going on. So why are these women being treated the way that they are? So we got like the silhouette, you know, you see it from far away, you see like the shapes and all that stuff. You got like the question of, okay, you know, why should I open this and everything? What's going on with these women and everything? If we look at let's go back to the edge right here, and we have like the one question of a villain's presence implied. So as Marvin was saying, everyone is an action form, and who is this? That my man is pointing. Is that Blaine?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why is he holding his neck? Who is he? Why is everybody's neck getting held and everything? And they're looks like they're jumping out of a plane, right? Or jumping out of something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get like a lot of questions, and it's basically just asking why should you open it? If a customer if the cover makes you curious, you flip it. If it's just a pose that you just keep walking. So as Marvin was talking about earlier, this cover has like tons of energy. It should not make you pause. I'm sorry, it should not make you walk, keep walking. You should be able to stop and look at the cover and be like, okay, I need to see, what's going on inside of it.
Right. I mean, but and it's like anything else as far as marketing a product is, when you go to a grocery store or anywhere else, what's the selling point of that product? Like, again, you've got options. So what makes me stop and buy the Tropicana orange juice over the store brand? Because the orange on it looks better, right? Or something there is drawing me to that thing. If I've never tasted it before, what's drawing me to that one product?
Yep. And making you put out your hard-earned money that you worked all your 2 weeks for to buy that. So right. I mean, and I always got to say this: you got to appreciate a person that has worked 2 weeks for a paycheck and come to spend their paycheck or a portion of their money on your stuff. Right. That's just such a blessing, appreciation, whatever you want to call it. For them to spend the money on your stuff is definitely appreciative. This here is Grant Lanker's stuff, one of another Comics Bird member called League of Cryptids. We have his Frogs Go to Loveland, and it'll be in the show notes. He has like issue 4 out right now. This is the first issue, but it gives you all the cryptids from like his story and everything. So you got like Chupacabra, you got like I don't want to mess anything up, so let me make sure I got the
Sasquatch, Jersey Devil,
Mothman,
and the Loch Ness.
The Loch Ness monster. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, you got all that, all on one cover. So people who like cryptid stuff, I mean, if this is what you're into, you're automatically drawn, because this basically puts them all together in sort of like a Justice League type of form, where he has his title there, League of Cryptids. He has cryptids all, in big letters and stuff. So if a person is, like you said, 6 or 10 feet away, they're seeing that cryptids. Okay, that immediately attracts that, and then they're seeing like the shapes of the different cryptids on the cover and stuff. And they say when they get to the comic, they're seeing League. So this is like, okay, this is like a team up. So that's sort of like a different thing that draws them in.
Right, and I mean, and like I said again, is that's marketing. Like, what do you? I'm trying to sell you something that I'm not present to sell you. So, and again, options. So it has to stand out on a shelf with thousands of other options. And then that's always going to be the challenge for you as a creator, is always remembering that if your book is on a shelf, it's got competition. I mean, unless your store loves you that much, they're going to give you your own section in the store where it's just your stuff. And people are just walking up, oh, here's the Comicsburg section. So I know everything here is Comicsburg. But I mean, that's not going to be every store. So like you're on the shelf competing with thousands of other things, and not just comic books in the comic shop. So like, stand out. And again, like you said, that someone wants to spend their hard-earned money on you, make it worth their while.
Make it worth their while. As a creator, and I'm sure you pretty much ran into this maybe early on in your endeavors into making comics and stuff. It may have started out as something cool, but at what point did you figure out, okay, well, I need to think more business minded, at the same, at the point that you're still want to be, creating and putting your stuff out. At what point did you think, in business mode, where I need to, make sure my cover sells? I need to make sure I have a sellable cover, not just a cool concept to put on it, but at the point where, okay, I need to make sure that this cover attracts people when they're into a shop.
Right. So, I mean, what I did was I just looked at covers so if we're going for like that 90 influenced book, then I looked at covers from books in the 90s. So like the X-Men, Wildcats, and things like that, and got an idea on what was driving this book forward. And a lot of covers had a lot of movement, a lot of energy, a lot going on, just to entice people. You need, like, people have to be enticed. You got to get the old Pavlov's dog. You got to get the mouth watering for that product. And that's the selling point, is that I want someone to see this thing. I want someone to touch this thing. I want someone to pick it up and not put it back down. I don't want them to walk away and go, oh, maybe next time. You want them to say, okay, I want this now, because I feel like if I don't get it, if I come back, it'll be gone. Because someone else is going to be enticed by what they're seeing.
And I think you mentioned one key point earlier. You're not there to sell it to them. The comic is there by itself, and you got to depend on the comic to sell itself. That's the biggest key. We're not at a convention. We can't just sell, like, give the person a quick 2-sentence pitch of our stuff. What they call an elevator pitch and everything. The comic is there on a newsstand by itself, or on an online online Amazon thing. And the cover has to speak to the person in order for them to click on that button to buy it, or pick it up at the store and take it to the register.
Yeah, it's always going to be about all those situations, because, like I said, you're not always going to be there to sell it. So if it can't sell itself, then you're going to have problems. 9
times out of 10, you won't be. So, yeah. All right. And then we got a bonus here, the 5-second cover test. So what do we mean by that? The 5-second cover test. So basically, you show your comic to someone for 5 seconds and ask them 3 things. What genre is it? Who's the main character? What's the problem? If they can't answer, don't panic. Just adjust, simplify, increase the contrast, make the promise clear. So you present your cover aspects to a particular person and everything, and they can't survive this 5-second test and everything. So it may speak to you that you may have to make some adjustments to where the person or another person, next time you present a 5-second test to another person, they can immediately see what's going on in that particular cover. If we go back to Trillion, which, like I said, is a really great cover, asks those it presents those questions and asks it pretty nicely. What is what genre is it? It's it's an action adventure, I would say. It asks you, it says, who's the main character? Looks like she's the main character, so we can see that she's superimposing. And then what is the what's the problem? So these are actually the good thing about the Trillion cover. These actually ask the questions. So if a cover can make you ask a question for you to open it up to see what the problem is, then the cover has done its job.
Right.
All right. So we've gone through that. So we've gone through the different aspects as far as making sure that your comic cover doesn't kill your sales. But we want you guys to sell stuff, because we try to do that all the time at these conventions, right, Marvin?
Yep. And I mean, we're getting ready to hit the first one. Oh, speaking of how did your Atlanta Sapphire go?
It went pretty good. It was at a mall, so the traffic and everything could have been a lot better. But I did it last year, did really good. This year, it came off. It's not as great as last year, but I still did. I had a pretty decent weekend, so I'm definitely not going to complain about it. Tony Cade from Challenger Games and Comics, he puts on a really good show every year. gets as many people as he can, and it's still, you still got to depend on yourself to market and, bring like the traffic and everything. But when you do the combination of that and what he brings, I still think it was a really good show. Talked to a lot of folks, made some really good conversations with folks and everything. And what I always love doing at these things, just talk about comics and stuff. Even if it's not about my stuff, just talking to the people about comics and everything is such a beautiful thing. So yeah, it went pretty decent. How was Pie for you guys?
So I didn't make it to Pie, but Grant said that it went really well, and okay. I'm really glad. I mean, so this was the second year, and it was good last year, but I think that their traffic went up this year. So hopefully year 3 that it'll be pumping and bumping there, because like that the city needs more comic stuff going on, most definitely.
Yeah. So so as you see, even though we got this distribution deal stuff going on, we're still pumping and working, still trying to get stuff out there, still trying to get in front of the folks to see. A couple things that we want to touch on before we get out of here. We have the League of Cryptids, Kickstarter that's going on right now. It is way past this 50%, so it's almost a goal. And with 31 days left. So, we got to definitely give some props to that, to Grant, Kickstarter and everything. So props to him. He got some really good stuff going on there.
Make sure to, this week. So this like it should have gotten goal yet, but like coming this week, guys, come on now. Get in there and get your cryptids, man.
Yeah, get in there and get you. It's a lot of days left, but that doesn't mean that you have to wait until the last minute to.
Yeah, he's almost at 100 backers. Like that should be funded by now.
I mean, yeah, seriously and everything. But you know how these things go. It's the dead period after the first week, after the first few days actually, and then come the last few days. People just coming in at the last minute and everything. So yeah, so there's that, and then we also have we'll have like the hold on for a second here. Let me get that up right. All right. So we have this coming out soon. We have The Edge Volume 3, God's Thunder. All right. So hey, how come we're not at 100 followers yet? Come on, guys. You guys are just tripping. Let's get to 100.
I got 94 backers. I got 94 followers. What the heck?
Oh man, 94. We ain't trying to go back again.
Yeah, I got to put more incentives out there, I guess. Come on. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's get it done. You see like the teaser and a preview of everything. Oh, this is awesome. This cover right here, this picture, the Edge thing. I mean, you see it, and who is Kyrat? So who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Why is he why is he crashing stuff in cities? What the heck's wrong with him?
After the rain comes the thunder. All right. So we got like a preview of it. So guys, we gotta get to at least 100. So before we get this out, any indication on when we're gonna have it started?
So I should have this all ready to go when I get back from Toylanta next weekend.
Okay.
So it'll be. So I originally wanted to do March, but life happens.
Hey, life is life.
Yeah. So it'll be sometime in April. I'm not sure yet, but it'll probably be a Monday. I think. Okay. I think maybe I'll launch it on Grant ship.
Okay. All right. So it's coming soon. Still coming soon. And then we got the Comicsburg Annual coming soon, the special and everything. So you get all the flavor of Comicsburg, the different flavors from like Trillion, The Edge, Theme of Thieves, Beowulf, Herrenberg, Incubator Productions. All the flavors of Comicsburg will be coming at you in this annual here. It's going to be 44 pages. Super excited for everyone to actually get a taste of it. So hey, we're at 40. We're at 39 followers. At least get us to 50, before we launch it and stuff. So can't wait for you to
click the damn button.
Hey, click click the button. You'll have everything all in the show notes after this is done. So make sure you go to the show notes and click on that. And we love to get your support for other stuff that we got going on, because we're still indie cover. We're still indie creators trying to get our stuff out and everything, get us up to the world. We're battling the Marvels and the DCs and the Images out there. Whenever you go into the shop and see their stuff up front and dominating everything, we're just the little fish in the minnows in the pond, trying to wade through and get that attention and everything.
I'm just going to walk around and do Radio Raheem carrying the radio, just plays Fight the Power continuously over and over again.
We got to fight the powers that be. All right. So guys, make sure, like I said, that you are going to comicsburg.com, and you'll see everything that's related to everything that we talked about today and everything that's on our website. Make sure that you're supporting us. If you're subscribed, if you're watching us on YouTube, I didn't even say this earlier, watching us on Facebook, make sure that you're sharing our feed on there. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification button, so anytime that we're on, that we're on. Tell your friends all about us. And if you have some creatives, because this is not only just for people who create comics. If you're creating just books, picture books, children's books, any type of stuff, you can still gather some stuff from these different parts and stuff. So it's a really good way for you to get the tidbits on how to get your stuff off from script all the way to the store. All right. Anything else, Marvin?
So like I said, next week, Toylanta, 27th, 28th, 29th, and down in Hotlanta. Going to have comics, going to have the Blaine prototype figure, and we're there to kind of like do some marketing, talk to some people. There's going to be a lot of independent toy producers down there. So, I mean, this is going to be a really good opportunity for us to chop it up and talk to people we have never talked to before about comics and toys.
I'm excited, get to meet a new breed of people and everything, but still, within our wheelhouse and stuff. They're still all nerds like us and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing. Make sure that you guys are supporting your public library. I can't say that enough, because we'll be getting our stuff into your public and local libraries really soon. All right. So on behalf of Marvin and Comicsburg, I want to thank you guys for coming out and checking us out. And we'll see you when we see you.
Later.